Welcome to my channel, Tools for Ascension by Wolfgang, and my gift to you is this guided meditation where we will be activating and rejuvenating and vitalizing your cell, the cells of your body and its components, the organelles, using powerful metaphysical energies. A quick but important disclaimer here. This meditation is not a substitute for professional medical advice or diagnosis. I am not a doctor or a healthcare professional. So please continue to consult your physician and keep taking your meds. And so your entire being is holographic, meaning every part is connected to and contains a reflection, of the whole. And this is a profound idea, echoed, of course, also in ancient traditions. Like the Egyptian concept that the pharaoh is a representation of all of Egypt. Whatever was done to the pharaoh, this intention would affect the entire kingdom. As above, so below. As Egypt, so the pharaoh. So by nourishing Egypt, the pharaoh would be nourished, or by nourishing the pharaoh, Egypt would be nurtured. Of course, according to Newton's physics, that is upper nonsense. Impossible, and enough reason to have you committed. But we can see this principle in modern quantum physics, where phenomena like quantum entanglement show that even over great distances, particles can remain connected, and there is no loss of time, etc. So this cannot be, explained by bouncing billiard balls, molecules and atoms, right? And so I find in my work, and I demonstrate it to all of my clients, that the realm of chi, of astral energy, vril, and also known or ki by the Japanese, or prana by the Hindu traditions, So anyhow, so today we will apply, this same powerful principle to our own reality by focusing our loving intention and energy on a single pharaoh cell, within our body. So, which will, create a ripple effect, of healing and renewal that touches every part of your being. So, as we begin, please remember to accept only that what resonates with you and reject that does not resonate with you. And also, please no driving or operating heavy equipment. This meditation is designed to space you out, and not like my normal meditation. I will have visuals that will help you, focus your love and attention onto the proper, let's say, aspects of your cell, the organelles, and whatever else we're going to be working with. But of course, you can also use your inner vision. And like always, we ask that everything that comes from this meditation or happens during this guided meditation is going to be for our highest good in divine harmony with the most benevolent outcomes. Amen. You should agree to this too. This is very important. Okay, and if you want to stay awake, then sit on an office chair with your feet on the ground, your spine nicely straight and supported by the back of the chair. If you want to go to sleep, I suggest you lay down, and this is generally the best, and then you will just pass out really nicely. Lots of people have problems going to sleep, so this may be You know, the point here. And again, you know, we asked that, you know, this meditation puts us on the highest and best timelines for us. And now we asked also source, absolute source. You know, people consider God, you know, I rather say source because there's so many connotations with the word God and misunderstanding. So we asked absolute source and our spirit guides to put a bubble of golden light around us, as well as also around a room or car, you know, or wherever we are. And smile and put your attention, you know, down into Mother Earth. And we asked Mother Gaia, this big consciousness, and our subterranean, you know, aspects, our spirit guides from the subterranean, to please remove any resistances and obstacles and blocks in our grounding roots. Many people have blocks in their foot chakra and root chakra. And when this is cleared, you get a lot more chi from Mother Earth. You're more balanced, and you can also discharge any negative emotions into Mother Earth. A smile and breathe deeply. Inhale, imagining pulling all her love into yourself. And then, you know, you breathe out. And then you breathe in again. Pulling her love all the way into your head. And then you send your love down. And you can even imagine that you have a little rocket jets on your root chakra as well as in your feet that burns out any dark attachments and resistance, anything that stuffs up, you know, these pathways. And then imagine like And we asked our subterranean aspects of love and light to please hook up our grounding cords into the optimal ley lines, crystal grids, and ore deposits like gold. Amen, amen, amen. And then, of course, we like to have again, you know, purification. Please release from us any thought forms and dark emotions and energies we picked up by osmosis. Amen. And it takes about 5 seconds. And then if you had stuff like this, you will feel lighter. There will be like an uplifting flow. Yeah. And as we're here, let's ask Mother Gaia, this huge consciousness, you know, for forgiveness for every time we have disrespected her or polluted her through our laziness, gluttony, etc., and ignorance. Please forgive us now. We want to be in really good terms with you from now on. Amen. And we also asked our spirit guides in Source and Mother Gaia to clear any dark programs and trauma that disconnect us from Gaia now. Amen. 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 And then also connect us to our most appropriate subterranean social memory complex down under. You know, there are very advanced civilizations underground without all the disturbance of surface wars, catastrophes. You know, they could develop a much more peaceful. And so we also invite them to please bring balance and peace and clarity into our life. Amen, amen, amen. And believe it or not, unicorns are real, and if you're in good standing with them, we ask them to please, create beautiful rainbows in our heart and around our hearts. And just smile. And you may feel a shift in energy, kind of an upliftment. And then we also asked the dolphins to please bring in their playful, giggling energies. Amen, amen, amen. And we asked our spirit guides to create an inner sanctuary bubble that is like a womb around us, cozy as a womb, protective as a womb, nourishing as a womb. And into that womb, bring all the elements that we need in a positive aspect. And whenever I say Amen, just nod your head. That's the best, yeah. And let's also invite our favorite plant devas, like the rose, the blue lotus, the pink lotus, Tulsi Devi, holy basil, and lily, and for the druidic people, oak and mistletoe. Amen, amen, amen. And now we, put our tongue to the top of the palate, as more back as you can do without getting too much distracted, the better. It's called the Vijay breath, but keep your mouth closed. It's a slightly raspy breath. Very, very good, for nitric oxide production. Difficult for me while I'm talking, though. But with an open mouth, it kind of sounds like this. And of course, you do it with your mouth closed. If you really work out, I actually turn it into a hum like this. It's amazing how much more energy this gives me in a workout. So, just a little tip. And now, we invite the star nations where we incarnated, and that are of love and light now. Amen. And smile. And you will probably feel this energy coming from above. And now we ask them, to clear up any, templates that disconnect us from our connection to our high self. There's generally a lot of sabotage from all kinds of technologies and all kinds of nefarious beings, from anything from human to other beings that kind of like to control and harvest us, or just want us to suffer for various reasons. So we like to have all that stuff cleared. So anything basically that disconnects us from our high self, from our intuition, then that blocks our halo, our higher divine chakras or energy centers. Please do so now. Amen. And then we also ask that any re-implantations be prevented. So please make this purification permanent. Amen, amen, amen. And on top of it, if there's any entities or programs that are trying to reinstate, these destructive templates, take them to the courts of divine justice right away. Also clear any jinn programs, that are meant to block healers, prophets, and channelers. Also make that a permanent change, so they cannot put them back. And once that is done, please activate our Stargate codes. And pull in the love, from the ceiling, into your whole body, from the heavens, and then send your love up, back and forth, deep breathing all the way in, all the way out. So the deeper and stronger you breathe, the stronger the energy. But the energy is modified, by the expression of your mouth. So when you smile, you tune into your higher divine mind, and the energy, becomes nice. Let me just demonstrate this to you. Have your eyes open and smile. So I'm gonna, take smiley energy from heaven and earth simultaneously, and then send it to you and see if you feel it. I'm gonna give you 3 hits. Okay, this was with smiling. Now I'm gonna give you 1 hit with frowning. Okay? Okay. Woo. Yeah, clear this now. Clear. This was for demonstration. Let's give him 3 more hits with a smile. So smiling is really, really important. All right. So now, when you inhale, just imagine that you're pulling in the love of Gaia, of this consciousness of Mother Earth, like smoke, like incense smoke, into your whole body. And on the exhale, you send into Gaia whatever you don't need to be recycled. Feel yourself, and then let go, flush it out. And then again, and then flush it out. Let gravity pull it out. So, and so your role, you're a soul that is using this meat and flesh body as a machine. And your duty, as the inhabitor of this body, is that of a queen or of a king that is visiting, the sample collective, of the inhabitants, of this body. So, and just like, the king or queen or pope, go around sometimes to the folks, having a photo op, hugging babies, shaking hands, creating, goodwill. In the same way, you can, with your attention and your intent, show goodwill to the body or to your organs. Let's say, send love to your heart or to your liver or your gallbladder or, your knee, wherever it is needed. And so with this love, that is giving, it creates kind of like cash. If you in a bad neighborhood, in a depressed neighborhood, and start, handing out cash, then probably they will start improving. Getting nicer cars, painting the house, being able to maintain the lawns, etc. So in a similar, life force chi, really, invigorates, the chemical processes in a cell. I think a Russian scientist even found now, that the DNA becomes more productive and expands, when its love is being projected onto it, and contracts, less productive when you yell at it. So this is the same principle. So right now, we're going to be pulling forward a Pharaoh cell, a representation, and also, make it feel good. So first of all, let's just call forward the Pharaoh cell. Amen. And you can have your eyes open and see, how a cell kind of looks like. And you can also close your eyes and see, if you are a good seer, how this Pharaoh cell kind of looks like. Does it have dark spots on it? Or is kind of misshapen? Has a bad vibe? Or is it nice and radiant? Yeah. It's a representation like a pie chart. So, well, let's just, send some love, to this whole cell here. See how that feels like? So start pulling, let's say, the love from Mother Earth on a deep inhale into your whole body. Oh, no, let's into your heart. And now on the exhale, imagine, you breathe that love from your heart, into this representation cell, the Pharaoh cell. You smile like an idiot, and breathe like a bellow. Okay, and now let's, focus sending our love onto individual parts of the cell. So first let's focus on what's called, maybe in my mind, the border patrol, the membrane around the cell. The membrane, by osmosis, lets certain things in and also lets certain things out. It's, it separates, the membrane, separates your cell, from the environment and controls what enters and leaves the cell. So now let's just project love onto it. And also when you project this love, see how it feels like. Those of you that are sensitive or empathic, you may get an impression, of maybe depression or health or joyousness, whatever it is, or tiredness from that cell. And just keep smiling and keep projecting this love into the cell membrane now. And you actually may feel a little different. Just running the love through you has a good effect to you, on you. So that feels pretty good. Now let's focus on the cytoplasm. That's kind of like a jelly-like substance, like a goo or soup, that fills that cell, and it surrounds, the organelles. These are all organelles, just means little organs. Like you have organs in your body, like kidneys, liver, intestines and so on. There are also little organs in this sac, that is yourself. And they're called little organs, organelles. Okay, so let's just soup this one up. And of course, you can always, while I'm explaining those, functions, continue running love onto those aspects. So let's soup up the soup. So if you're new to my channel and have never worked with me, take earth energy. This will be great for you. Earth energy is very strong and good for healing. If you have worked with me as a client, of course you know how to project source love. So try to connect with source love and project that into your sample pharaoh cell. Okay, so now let's focus on the mitochondria. It's the powerhouse of the cell. It converts, like say, food chemicals into energy. And, basically extra electrons that the cell that can use, for its functions. So first of all, let's just get a little impression and ask your high self, or the mitochondria itself. Are you feeling, great? Yes or no? And if your energy goes down, it's a no. If energy goes up, that's a yes. If it's like here, well, it's like that. Okay, so let's just project, our love onto the mitochondria now. Smile and deep pumping. And of course, we ask, our high self and our spirit guides to make sure that whatever we do here is for the highest good for the cells. So we're not overdoing anything or creating any problems. Amen, amen, amen. Okay, so this feels pretty good. So let's check out those ribosomes. So these are tiny, tiny organs that are responsible for, putting together, synthesizing, stitching together proteins. Your proteins get assembled by those ribosomes, so they're really important. So let's just, give us our attention to them. And first of all, see how they're feeling like. So how are your ribosomes feeling? And the higher, you feel your vibration, the better. And the lower it goes down, your energy, well, the worse. So let's just see how are your ribosomes doing right now. Okay, and now the usual, well, take the love from Mother Earth or from Source and project it into those ribosomes. With love, tell them I love you. Or just smile at them, be really benevolent. It doesn't have to be verbal. I mean, a lot of things, are non-verbal, more symbolic. And if you take your eyes out of focus, and like I'm doing right now, and you have a computer screen in front of you, I don't think it's gonna work with a phone screen, but after some time you may just see a halo, around the image of the cell as you are projecting chi into it. Yep, quantum physics, not Newton physics. Quantum physics, that's how it works. Alright, now some more little biology here for you. So the endoplasmic reticulum, and it sounds like something in a court of law, I would say. It's a network of membranes that, puts together, assembles, whatever those little ribosomes, this little protein assemblies, put out. Some essentially they have ribosomes attached to them, and they're packaged that even more. So kind of, like a warehouse, warehousing it. And yeah, let's send some love to this. And from there, it goes to the Golgi apparatus, or Golgi body, which again packages and processes those proteins and other molecules, that have been, pre-packaged, and, gets them out of the cell. It's basically warehousing and shipping. So very important. So let's send some love here to those guys too there. And as we are already, at shipping here, of course, there also has to be, the garbage collector, maintenance that breaks down waste material, and gets that stuff out. So these are the lysosomes. Must be coming from Lysol, the cleaning product. Very toxic. People gargle with it. Well, it's probably has to do with that function. So these are, are really garbage collectors. Let's give a shout out to those with some love and good chi. That should be pretty good. And now there is another structure that we want to reinforce, which is the cytoskeleton. So, by itself, the cell is like a sack, or like a balloon, filled with liquids. And, to keep it in certain, let's say, shapes, depending on the job they have to perform, they have to have certain shapes. So there is a kind of a skeletal structure, that keeps everything kind of organized. Let's just, reinforce this skeleton with our love, smile and breathe. And we ask the spirit guides, to also now give healings and updates, to our cell. Oh yeah. And now let's focus on that nucleus, the management aspect of the cell, the computer center, where all the programs are, where all the apps are stored. To make our cell function, basically the CEO of that cell, hold administration, basically. So let's get those all nicely happy and nourished and updated, pretty please. And we asked our spirit guides to make sure, to weed all those aspects out that are unnecessary, the kind of fat and saboteurs, in the organization, clear out all the dysfunction programs, maybe or toxins or monkey wrenches in those systems. And then again, update and heal. Whatever needs to be updated and healed in our programs, to adapt now to present time and future events coming. Okay, so if you have done a good job, you probably by now, ran love, pushed love for half an hour, 45 minutes. Pretty good. So now we asked our spirit guides and our high self, to optimize this Pharaoh cell and make a template of this and then transfer this optimization, to all the other cells. Of course, always appending to the specialization of the cell. A red blood cell should definitely be treated different than a brain cell. So please, now distribute this onto the whole body. And, we like to have, the cell also filled with love and light of God and Source. We ask that all the rainbow colors be given to the cells that are needed to keep the cell nice and healthy. And also, to bless the connection system, through which all the cells communicate with each other on different levels. There's holographic level, there are hormonal levels, there's triggering through nerves, all kinds of things. We like to have that optimized, the cell communications pretty please with each other. That feels good. Alright, and now we thank all those beings that came together to optimize our cell, to optimize our body, especially for this ascension process, but also for our health. And please let us now, right now, in our mind, when should we do this meditation again? For our healing. This is probably not just a one-time fixes it all forever, situation. It's just like medicines, they have to be taken initially on a regular basis till a balance has been achieved. So when should you do this meditation again? Just listen inside. And just reconfirm, let's ask, say that says 2 days, for instance, is it 2 days? Yes or no? All right, thank you. And we ask the spirit guides, to please retrieve now any energies or soul fragments that can be reunited with us, due to the purification and upliftment. Amen. Of course, purify them first, these energies, and optimize, then reintegrate into our body, and then bring to optimal energy levels, and then seal with the love and light of Source. Alright, well, this was a meditation for most of you with eyes open. Well, I hope you gave me, a thumbs up, or that you will give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this meditation, or if you had any far-out experience or questions. Please put them into the comments below. I read them all and I respond. And I take a personal session on Zoom, one-on-one. My prices are very reasonable. Just send me an email or go to my website for details. And, I have about 350, 400 videos covering different topics about getting purified, getting lighter, getting into your higher consciousness. They're all quite important to do. There are many facets that have to be updated and considered in our life. So, just see, stay on and watch, the 4-second clips of each of those covers and see what resonates with you. Some of those things may be really important for you. Yeah. And like always, I love you long time. Namaste.